Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 81 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series, where today I've upgraded most of my machines. I know at least one of them takes the gas upgrade, which makes things more efficient. Yeah, just one. That's cool. So everything should be relatively upgraded at this point, which is pretty good looking. Today I want to get my fission reactor up and running. I'd like to transfer the steam over to the turbine, get the turbine outputting power. And then finally, I would like to handle the nuclear waste so we can start building up the stuff that we need to make some cool advanced stuff from mechanism. So that's going to be polonium and plutonium. Sound cool? So we can clear out all this long to-do list here. Though that said, I do want fluorite. Interesting. Is it called something different? Fluorite combs. That's cool. Why doesn't it show when I look up fluorite? I don't see the comb here. Interesting. Oh well. Probably hides all the combs because it would clutter up JEI. Maybe would be a guess, but possibly, I don't know. Anyway, so a few things we need to do, right? First, I would like to make sure that we're automating the insertion of uranium fluorite and sulfur. So to do that, we're going to need to get uranium fluorite and sulfur over here. And there's definitely a few ways we can handle that. I think the one thing I'm going to do... I don't think I've done this yet. Have I done this yet? I don't know if I've done this yet. Did I? I don't know. So I've got the ether gas tanks and all this good stuff. I've got the ender chest that inserts things. What's this ME interface about again? Why does he exist? You're inserting stuff... Oh, from here. Right, yes. No, yep, that makes sense. Yeah, you're inserting into the ME interface. That's cool. Maybe what I should do is get another ender chest, okay, of a different color. So let's go with, we'll do that, and then we can do this. What color do we want to go with here? How about gray? Oh, that seems like the wrong kind of color. How about blue? Does blue sound good? Gray's like too close to white. It would be hard to notice. All right, so blue's gonna be our I want to make things ender chest and keep them in stock. So the way I do this is I decide, hey, there's some stuff I want, right? For example, uranium ingots. I would like 64 of them. Fluorite. I would like 64 of them. And then finally, sulfur dust from mechanism, and I would like 64 of them. Okay, so that's being kept in stock in the ME interface here, right? I would like to now laser IO this. And the reason I use laser IO is so I can do like the keep a certain amount thing in there. So on the up face, we're going to extract, and I definitely want to overclock this because we want this to happen pretty quickly, right? You know, 8 items per second won't be enough, especially when we have like 3 stacks of stuff that needs to be moved, okay? So on the up face, you're going to overclock a stack a tick, okay? So literally just extract a stack a tick, okay? But before we actually let that run, over here on the east face, I'm going to want to filter and do the same kind of deal. So we're going to want uranium, but a stack's worth. Fluorite, control-click to add to a stack. And then sulfur. Okay. So that now when I go up here and add this, boom, we've got exactly what we'd want to see. Nice, right? And then if we so decide, we can eventually, you know, have multiple chests doing this. So this will be a way to supply things to my remote bases, like my reactor, so that I can keep, you know, whatever I need in stock. Good deal? Oh, we're low on iron. Oh, not good. Do we have, like, some iron ore that I could, like... No, we don't. We definitely don't. We're going to need to get iron. It's going to need to be a thing that happens. Okay, well, let's get... I think... that should be close to maybe okay-ish. Get at least one more lit. I think 4 nodes is probably what I need, but I'm going to make an extra just to be safe. Is that cool? All right. So we need to insert things, right? So you need fluorite. You need uranium. And you need sulfur. And if we're very clever, okay, we can get another ender chest. And we can make this only need 3 nodes. And we're going to use blue wool again. Perfect. See? So then on the north side here, so the opposite side, the south, we're going to want to insert fluorite, right? And just fill her up, okay? On the south side here, we're going to want to insert, and that's going to be sulfur, and just fill her up. And then on the south side here, we're going to want to insert uranium. And then on the down, you will be extracting a stack of tick without any filtering, okay? So at this point, we should have filled up the fluorite. Right? Am I crazy here? Shouldn't this be working? All right, I need you to side config for items. The back will be input. There you go, fluorite. Same for you. Side config for items. The back will be input. Side config for items. The back will be input. Cool. All right, so then bind you two, and you're cooking. And bind you two, and you're cooking. And that should be all she wrote. And we should have loads and loads of uranium stuff going on. So now I want a nice tank with which to store all this. I'm thinking, let's get like a nice, do we need this big of a tank? Do we need this big of a, I don't know. I always like having like a nice big buffer, but ultimate seems like a lot. Maybe we'll just go, let's go advanced. 256 buckets sound cool. That works for me. All right, so your side config will be, the down will be an input, and the back will be an output for gases. Okay, so that you'll dump into there. And I want to use a quantum entangloper, which I've taught the system how to make now, and we're like super low on iron, like super hilariously low. So I think we need to like take a break from building this reactor and get more resources. So some resources I'm going to automate with bees, I think, or at least try it out. But we're still going to need like some general resource production. And yes, I do have my mining dimension doohickey, right? Like I do have that frame machine, but it's honestly a little bit slower than I would want it to be. I've used it a little bit since I made it, and it's like, it's good, but it's not like really good. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to get a digital miner, which is like the bee's knees when it comes to like Uber mining, which I want to do some Uber mining right now. So I'm going to control click my way into a bunch of resources. And clearly we're going to need a little bit more iron before we can actually do this. So let me go literally manually mine some iron. And then when I come back, I will have made the digital miner off camera, and then we'll be cool. Sound good? All right, I will be right back once I do some manual mining. Looks like everything's behaving itself, which is pretty cool. Loving that. Looking good. All right, and then iron. It looks like it's behaving with the export bus thing. See that? If we come in here, yeah, look, it export bust my iron ores. All right, good. So that is behaving still. Awesome. Maybe that was a temporary fluke. Maybe it's something to do with your, I don't know, but all good. All right, so digital miner, ready to go. Looking good. This guy's going to go and mine for me. I'm going to want a flux point, for sure, and an ender chest. We don't have any blaze rods? Really? We're out of blaze rods? I have to do something about that, aren't I? I guess so. I guess quickly I'll go farm a few. That's surprising. I should also, like, maybe consider blaze spawner. There we go. Yeah, maybe I should consider something along the lines of automating this dude, right? Yeah. Shouldn't take long to get, you know, a decent number of blaze rods. Ooh, look, I got that blaze instruction manual. That airdrop from blazes. Cool. Yeah, with looting whatever I have, you know. That's enough. More than a stack works for me. Boom, 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 boom. Looking good. Alright, now I can get my ender chest that I want. So let's go give this guy a go. Hey. Alright, I know, I'm stuck in a wall. Can we not? Where was I stuck anyway? I don't know, but apparently I was breaking those things. Oh boy. I need to not have that teleport on my thing anymore. I think that's just not gonna work for me. I'm gonna have to remove that, aren't I? Like, I like the concept of it, but like it's caused me more trouble than anything else. Anyway, but that's more my fault than anything. It's a cool... Something else being on the right click would be neat, for sure. But just the teleport, for me, because the way I use my sword as, like, my primary, like, thing, doesn't work, right? So, anywhere I go, I can plop down this digital miner, which is good times, okay? And he's going to need power, okay? And we'll connect that up, and that gets him power. And then he has a configuration we can do. We can also upgrade him. So support upgrades are speed, energy, anchor, which keeps the chunk loaded, and stone generate. Generates stone or cobblestone as needed. Okay, so we're going to do those things. Did I, like, lose that? No, here, that's where it went. Okay, and then you, energy, boom. Cool. And then we should be good in terms of RF and all that good stuff. So we can configure this. First off, the radius. I want to say 32 is the max, but I'm just going to put a higher number in there to find out. And it does. It shrinks it down. So, you know, you can make it, you know, whatever you want, but it'll make the max is 32. Min Y and max Y is how deep it's allowed to go. So I'm going to go like negative 99, which I assume will shrink me to 64, right? And then max, I'm standing at 66, so we'll stick with 60. That's fine. Inverse mode can be off. And what we want to do is add filters, which specifies what it's allowed to mine. So I usually go with tags. So I would like to get forge ores iron. And if we check that, we'll see it start cycling through all the different types of iron ore. So now it's allowed to mine iron. And the only thing it'll do is mine iron. That's it. Nothing else. It won't mine any other ores, which works for me for now. Because I'm low on iron, I need to get iron, so we're going to do that. Cool. And that's the main thing. The other thing you can do is set auto eject, which will dump things into an adjacent inventory, like an ender chest. Boop. And in addition, we can have Silk Touch enabled, which makes it cost more RF per operation, but Silk touches the ores, which is what we want, obviously, right? So I hit start here, and you can see we're like struggling to maintain the power to keep this thing running at full speed, right? Not enough energy to operate. So he really needs a lot of RF a tick to run at max speed, and we are probably struggling to maintain that, right? Because this thing I don't think can output at that fast of a speed, right? So he's trying to get more than the 102,000 that this thing can handle per tick, which is why we're going to eventually want to make the induction cell, which is a much bigger multi-block storage thing. So you'll notice by using a forge tag, we're getting all types of iron ore. So if we were on like one of the planets from Ad Astra, which we haven't gotten to yet, but if we were, it would pick up that iron. It'll pick up iron from the Aether mod, or whatever it is, the Aetherium, this one. It should pick up Aether Steel iron if there is any nearby. Anything that's an iron tag will get picked up, right? So that should be cool. So if I turn on auto eject now, he should start dumping things into the thing. And if we go back home, we're getting iron. Cool. And then if we look at our iron stuff here, we should see that turning into iron. So that's cool. So that should be enough iron for now. So considering we're struggling with power as it is, I'm going to turn you off. Okay. That will then convert all the irons, right? This thing still ghosts a little bit. See, I right-click and it goes away because it's not really there. But yeah, that's not bad, right? And then we've got all the iron ore converting. Cool. All right, so now we can go back to our reactor, and we can make our quantum entangleopers that I wanted to make. So quantum entangleopers are infinite range teleporters for items, fluids, gases, or energy. I still need to find time to add gases to Laser IO because I really want to do that. Just time is not great for Dire right now. It's, you know, it's holiday times and stuff. It's you know, difficult to find time to work on side projects. But in the meantime, quantum entangleopers therefore are the only way to teleport any kind of gas, right? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to set up the quantum entangleoper that's going to go under the advanced chemical tank. What I'm going to do is I'm going to configure this guy on the side, and you can see you have all the side configs for all the different types of resources that exist within this mod. Now, you don't have to go turn all these off. It's up to you if you want. It doesn't matter. The main thing is gases, right? Because that's what we're going to be using this for. On the top, I'd like to output gases, and make sure to turn auto eject on. Otherwise, you'll wonder why it's not working, right? So gases, auto eject on, easy peasy, done deal, right? The other thing we need to do is set a frequency. So I'm going to call it fissile fuel. This will specify that this thing is on the fissile fuel frequency. Frequency is kind of like the ender chest colors, right? You can set whatever frequency you want, and then any quantum entangleopers on the same frequency will be connected with each other and be treated the same. So now all I need to do is come over here and plop down a quantum entangleoper and make sure the side config for gases, he's outputting to the front, right? So what I'm going to do is just pop this down, and then side config gases. The back is an input, so that's good, okay? And then we just set it to the fissile fuel frequency. And when I do this, all the machines should turn on. See that? And the reason they all turned on is because he just pushed all his fissile fuel into the quantum entangleoper. It teleported over to this one, pushed the fissile fuel up into the tank, at which point the tank pushed it into the back, and it's going into the fission reactor and starting to build up some stuff. Cool? So now we're fueling our fission reactor and we're ready to roll. Now all I need to do is get some more ultimate stuff. So I'm going to leave this here to run for a bit. Nothing's actually happening just yet, but we'll be there soon. So what I would like to do is ultimate. What do you know how to make? Nothing? Okay, I want more ultimate things. So I'd like ultimate mechanical pipes. So let's get you guys all taught, right? Hopefully you'll behave yourselves and not have an NBT problem, but we'll find out. You don't even know how to make basic pipes? Goodness gracious, Dire. You are a bum, aren't you? Ultimate logistical transporters. All right, I'm going to come back after I program all this and when we're ready for something more interesting than making recipes. So be right back. Also, those of you paying attention, you'll notice we're actually getting kind of close to running out of space in that flower of crafters. So yeah, keep that in mind. So now I should be able to make more ultimate mechanical pipes. Good. And we're probably going to want some pressurized tubes. I don't know if we're going to need item transfer, but definitely fluids and gases is a thing we're going to need. And universal cable we might need, but I'm thinking flux point and a flux plug would be in my future, right? I did the whole generators network thing, didn't I? Did I do the whole generators network thing? I feel like I probably did. I did. Good. Yes. So we have the generators network ready to go. Sweet. Okay. So you're good. You're good. Let's go hook this up. And then I'm also going to want a trash can, I believe. Energy trash can. And here's how we're going to set this bad boy up, right? Back here, I'm thinking, I'm going to just have an energy trash can. I'm going to plop down my flux point. Where's my flux plug? Didn't I make a plug? Thought I did. Oh, I did. Yeah, that's this guy. All right, so you're going to go here. You're going to go on the generators network. Okay, so that means any energy you're producing is going on to the generators network. Now, I don't know what causes that. I'm always bad at this, and everybody yells at me, and I know I should really understand this a little bit better. But something causes this turbine to backstuff its steam and backstuff the steam into here, and then heat happens and bad things and explosions and radiation. So I always do two things. One, I always set my flux point here on the generator's network to void any excess energy. And the way I do that is I make the priority negative 1,000, which means that the last place you're going to send energy is here. So that if you're generating power, it will negative 1,000 and dump into here, okay? If you wanted to, you could make like a dedicated generator for, or a dedicated network for the mechanism turbine here, but this should be fine, right? Because this is going to be my main power source soon anyway. Cool. Okay. So you'll void any excess energy. Why are you not sending energy in there now? Are we like not full on energy? Oh yeah, that's right. We're pretty low on energy, aren't we? Yeah, probably because we're processing all that iron, huh? Yeah, that's probably why. I was like, it should be sending energy there from my current reactors, and it's not. Well, we're really low on energy because, yeah, makes sense. All right, so that's that. In terms of getting steam over here, we're going to want our pressurized tubes very simply to connect like that. So now any steam produced by this reactor will move its way into the turbine casing, okay? And then I always turn on dumping excess, which some people seem to say is not a good idea, but I do it because it means no booms, right? That should be fine. That should be cool? I think so. Okay, so let's give this a quick test to see how things go. If I activate this reactor, there's two notes. One is the limit, or the rate limit, how fast it's burning, right? Its max burn rate is 52 millibuckets per tick, which is 52 millibuckets of fuel per tick. By default, it's at 0.1. The higher the burn rate, the faster the heat builds up, but this reactor should be stable, so we can run it at full speed without an overflow, but we'll see. I'm going to bump the burn rate limit up to 1.0 instead of 0.1 and activate it. Boom. And then I'm going to quickly lower that volume. Yeah. Thank you. I like to know when it's on, so like a little bit, yes, but just not that loud. So you can see here we're building up steam. Nuclear waste. So we want to configure this guy to be your steam output. So for that, I should probably break this for a sec. Yeah, because I realize now that I mistakenly forgot to configure the sidedness here. So you need to be configured not for waste, but for coolant, right? So it's input, waste, or coolant. I want coolant here. We're going to dump waste out the front. Okay, so coolant's going to be here. I'm actually going to not set that just yet, though, because I don't want any mistakes when it comes to waste. Waste, when you dump nuclear waste into pipes, if you break the pipes with waste in them, bad things. It irradiates the whole chunk and takes a while to go away, so it's not a good time for anyone. All right, so now that we've configured this guy for outputting coolant, we can throw down our pressurized tube. You can see the steam is going in there, and it starts spinning the reactor, and we're producing power. Currently 22,000 RF per tick, not too shabby. Now, conversely, we need to send water back to this guy. Now, I think we're going to see if I need to do this, right? Because it will build up water, and then that water can flow back. And if we wanted to send it back, what we would do, and I might rearrange where the logic adapters are, but basically you could have these pipes going here. And that water could go, I'm going to turn this off for a sec, into a valve. Do I have any extra valves? Not that one. What are they called? Ports? What are they called again? Yeah, fission reactor ports. Right? So I'm probably gonna... Let's put it here. Right? So basically, the steam is condensing down to water, and then the water can flow back into the reactor, right? I don't think it's a big deal as long as you're pumping enough water in via this. But once we start increasing the rate at which we're producing, that might be a problem. So let's bump it up. Let's bump it up to like 10. So now, when I bump it up to 10, it's going to be heating the water faster. It's going to be making that much more steam. And this turbine is going to spin faster, making even more RF. You'll notice we're making about 10 times as much RF per tick, which is not too shabby. Over here, I want to make sure that you are bypassing the limit, so there is no transfer limit over here. And same for you, bypass limit. Okay, so 218,000 RF per tick is the output. 228,000 RF per tick is the input. So basically, most of the power we're producing right now is being voided. Probably because we don't have a great place for it to sit. If we came over here and looked, you don't have, you don't need power, right? So, yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so now let's bump this guy up even further. So I'm going to bump him up to 30. Should be pretty safe. And you'll notice your heat level here. As long as your temperature stays stable and your water level stays stable, you should be fine. If you see your water start to drop, that's a bad thing. Okay? So I'm going to bump him up all the way up to 50. So see how the water is like dropping? If the water gets to 0, bad things will happen. So turn this thing off before that happens. Okay? Trust me, you don't want 0 water. It's a bad time. Okay? So let's do this. Let's get more outputs here. And let's get more valves here. Or ports, actually. Because in theory, this should form a closed system. So all the water turning to steam should be able to turn back into water in the turbine and return back. We just need to do it fast enough, right? And I don't know exactly how mechanism pipes work in this regard, but we'll see if that made a difference. Right? So if I activate you now, see how the water is stable? See that? So we're still at 50 millibuckets per tick production, but the water is stable, which means we're able to extract all the water that's being produced over here and send it back, and that works, right? So we have a nice, stable setup, but be very careful and keep an eye on this, right? So real quick, if I turn this on again, you'll note we're producing like 1.1 million RF per tick. Now, a majority of that is being voided, like almost all of it, right? So much of it that, you're questioning why I'm even running this. One of the things I'm really running this for is for nuclear waste. Realistically, this does a great job of generating power, but it's the only thing that can create nuclear waste, which leads to some nice end-game resources for mechanism. So I'm going to turn them off for a minute, and that's pretty cool, right? The other thing we can do is keep an eye on our fissile fuel here. If we have this thing running, the question is, are we producing enough fissile fuel to keep the thing running all the time, right? So if this number drops to 249, the answer is no. If it gets up to 251, the answer is yes, because it means we're producing more than we're using. Now, we might be breaking even, which is always a possibility, but I don't seem to remember this being like a perfect break-even thing, right? So you guys are cool. You guys are cool. You've got plenty, you've got plenty, you've got plenty, you've got plenty. Everybody's working and doing their job. Except for Chemical Oxidizer. He's a little slow. I don't think I can tier upgrade him, can I? I don't think so. I'm almost certain the answer is no. But what I can do is have multiples of these. I'm just checking this because there have been changes to mechanism. I don't know if that was like a thing that got added. No. But I could throw like 2 more oxidizers out here. Maybe, right? We just have to run power up, which wouldn't be the end of the world. Right? And then we would just have to feed this in, right? Because the bottleneck right now is this machine, right? We're producing more than enough yellow cake uranium, even though we're technically out of uranium at this point, so that's kind of a problem. But how are you doing? Yeah, 250. So we're kind of breaking even. It's not terrible, actually. Not bad at all. Alright, but I'm going to scram you for a minute, because I don't want... we don't have any more uranium. I have to go fix that. Let's make sure that this uranium dude is, yes, nicely upgraded. And you should be export busing uranium, raw uranium. Let's make sure you know how to make raw uranium. There you are. And now you should be Oh wow, you're still working on dirty iron. Haha, that's funny. But you do look like you're about done, which is nice. But why are you not exporting uranium? Isn't that weird? Like, iron's clearly working here, so why wouldn't raw uranium blocks be exported? Because I can make that. Okay. What if I removed you and just put you in like this? See, it's not doing anything. Which makes me very confused. I don't think you would need a fuzzy card, right? You've got the crafting card. What if I remove the raw block of iron and put you in the first slot? Now are you making? You are? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Aww. Scheduling. Export the first item until the network is empty, then try the next ones. Export using round robin. Export items in random mode. But like this mode, it'll until the network is empty, right? I wonder if that's a bug. I wonder if that's a bug. Because if we look at uranium now, it's not going anywhere, right? I feel like that might be a bug. So if I put this in round robin mode, will you start making uranium happen? Yes. I don't like round robin though, because that's not going to be good when we have multiple things to do. I really would like you to do scheduling mode, which would be iron first and then uranium. Because, like, if we had both iron and uranium in there at the same time, I feel like this thing would get gummed up with uranium and iron, right? Am I crazy? Maybe not? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and you did the 141 thing. Awesome. I was really hoping that that wasn't a problem anymore. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is put this in export round robin mode, which should help. Yeah, it looks like it will. I'm going to add deep slate uranium ore here. Now, what's interesting is this one doesn't seem to have that problem when it's in... I wonder if it's just because the crafting card is confusing it? Like, this export the first time until the network's empty, then try the next ones. Right. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if, like, the crafting card is introducing a bug to scheduling. I don't know. Probably not a big deal. We will figure it out. So for now, I think it's probably wrapping up point, right? So Daryl20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time. So the next major task for me will be getting nuclear waste handled. Because there's two things that can cause a reactor problem. Well, like three things, right? One, it overheats because you're not giving enough water. Two, steam backstuffs and causes overheating. Three, nuclear waste backstuffs. And we've already produced a significant amount. So next episode, we're going to have to come back, process our nuclear waste using some machines, and get some useful stuff out of it. And once that's all set, we can kind of leave these things to run full time. The only thing that we'll need to do is make sure that we're producing enough uranium, fluorite, and sulfur. Now, sulfur, I feel like we're probably good on, right? How are we for sulfur? These things have been running a lot, and we have lots of sulfur, right? So that's fine. And sulfur is literally kind of just, you know, cobblestone and a lava sigil. The only thing I might want to keep an eye on is my divination sigil, right? We're getting low on essence, right? A little bit of LP problem. We should automate LP as well. So there's a few things. I'm gonna put the divination sigil on my to-do list, so I know we have to automate LP. But other than that, like once LP is automated, sulfur is gonna be fine. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, right? So that should be cool. Just putting away all these toys. Bing, bang, boom. Put you away, put you away. You guys can go away, and that's much cleaner inventory-wise. Okay, wrapping up point, Daryl20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time to process waste, and then start looking into passively automating uranium, fluorite, and sulfur, right? Sulfur already automated, just need to get LP up and running. But fluorite and uranium, let's look at like maybe productive bees and see, are they going to be able to keep up with the demands of a mechanism reactor? Because mechanism reactors burn through resources really fast. Like really, really fast. So we'll see what happens. For now, wrapping up point, Daryl20 sign off. Take it easy.